G'day friends and welcome back to Aussie Moto and Outdoors. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Cam and I'm your host for today's fill of motorcycle enjoyment. Today is for the people wondering if they should buy a motorcycle, or the people who've decided to but taking a long time to choose a bike, or even the few overly impulsive people out there who've never really thought of getting a motorbike but see this kind of video online and just can't help themselves. The people whose curiosity gets the better of them and in the space of a couple of weeks go from never riding a motorcycle to owning one and it becoming the dominant activity in their lives. To those people's respective husbands or wives, I'm sorry your partner impulsively bought a motorcycle after watching a YouTube vid. Don't blame me or them. This is literally what motorcycles do to people. Today we're talking about the top 5 reasons why you should go out and buy a motorcycle right now. Number 1, they are cheap. Now this gorgeous Yamaha R3 of mine costs a touch over $8,000 here in Australia. I think they're around $5,000 in the US. And for that you're getting something with equal exhilarating performance, excitement and enjoyment as a $30,000 or $40,000 car. Now as most motorcyclists know, this is a tame and little bike. Imagine what the $20,000 bikes are capable of. Motorcycles also use less than half the fuel that cars do, so if you're going to use it to commute or general travel, it's cheaper than driving. Now registration is less on a motorcycle as well. Now there's plenty of guys online talking about how motorcycle expenses add up and become an expensive hobby, and that can be very true. However, if you're not modding it, over accessorizing it, you're not trashing, crashing or bashing it around, then they're actually relatively cheap to own and enjoy. Number 2, the freedom. Now you can never feel this free in a car. Nothing comes close to the feeling of wind, breeze, freedom and the adventure that cruising along a motorcycle brings. It's one of those things that's difficult to explain, yet every single rider knows it. After your first ride you feel it, you'll know it, you'll never lose it, and you will struggle to convey the enjoyment to other non-motorcyclists. The only way to get that feeling is to ride, give it a go. Don't be put off by how it looks or sounds on a YouTube vid. This is how it sounds to my GoPro, and this is how it sounds to me while riding. The closest cars can come to this feeling of freedom is maybe a high-performance convertible. However, they don't lean into quarters. You steer a motorcycle by physically leaning it, not by turning a wheel. It's such an incredible feeling and experience. Number 3, adventure. There is adventure everywhere, every day. Now I have a ride planned with friends tomorrow. It's going to be about 400 kilometers and there's between 4 and 6 of us going along. It's bloody incredible traveling with a group of friends, but unlike vehicular road trips, no one is sitting idle, bored in a passenger seat. Everyone is in charge of their adventure and feeling every second of it. So even today, the day before the big ride, I took my bike to the fuel station to top up. The servo is about 1 kilometer from my house, but I accidentally ended up riding nearly 100 kilometers, ending up in a neighbouring town having a coffee at a gorgeous little cafe, chatting to some locals, relaxing and enjoying myself before heading home. I fueled up on the way home, but it just goes to show that absolutely any ride you go on, from a long-range adventure to a simple trip to the shops, can turn into an incredible experience that you would not have had if you'd have taken your car. Number 4, the friends. It's amazing when you buy a motorcycle and you suddenly open your friend circle up exponentially. Now I've had friends for years and been unaware that they ride, and then I buy a bike and start riding and they reach out. Then once you're on the road, you start to meet other riders. You don't have to go looking for them. You don't have to wonder where they are. By simply riding, you come across other riders. You meet people. You make friends. You have a good time every time. There is a brotherhood and a sisterhood for that matter amongst motorcyclists. We're all friends by virtue of the amount of wheels we're traveling on. Number 5, no regrets. You will not regret owning a motorcycle. As I mentioned earlier in the vid, if you're on the fence, if you're in the market, if you're approaching the fence, or if you're just bike curious at all, then every positive thing you've fantasized in your head over the past weeks, months or years about owning a motorcycle and adventuring is absolutely true. It is genuine and it is within your reach. You simply have to bite the bullet and get started. You'll be a month into it and remembering this video, thinking to yourself, yeah, he was right. Stop, procrastinating on the most enjoyable thing you will ever do and give your local motorcycle dealer a call. Now, to maximise your enjoyment, I highly recommend learning to ride properly. Look into your local riding courses. Reach out to friends who will help mentor and teach you. Watch, read and absorb as much content and information as you can about riding and owning a motorcycle. It will make the journey so much more enjoyable for you. I did my licence course, which here in Queensland is called Q-Ride, with Tableland's Rider Training. I'll leave a link to their website in the description in case there's any fellow Tablelanders watching and wanting to get into it. So that concludes today's vid. Thank you so much for watching. Consider liking, subscribing, sharing and commenting. But more importantly, unless you're calling your motorcycle dealership, put your phone down and get outside. Guys, there is one more crucially important reason why you need to buy a bike ASAP, and that is quite simply availability. When I got my R3 back in November, there was a 1 month wait on that, not too bad. The Honda was 3 months and they wanted 100% deposit. The Kawasaki was out to 12 months depending on which model you wanted. The Suzuki, they just didn't bother getting back to me at all. So, you know, the bits and pieces that go together to make these bikes are getting harder and harder to get, and a lot of the manufacturers are struggling to do so. So availability is going to get tougher and tougher. And the other thing that's going to change the motorcycle landscape over the next few years is the transition to electric bikes. Now, I'm not interested in debating the pros and cons of electric bikes right now, but I'm just saying that I think it was Honda, I read, they want to transition their entire lineup to electrical by, I can't remember the year, maybe 2030, something like that, and you'll find a lot of the other manufacturers will also follow suit. So if you want a traditional internal combustion engine motorcycle, you need to act fast, you need to get out there and get one. So do that, put your phone down, get outside, stay safe. Thanks. Bye.